So I got two questions today. Can you really be too successful? And does money really change you? I go by the name of Hemingway. I'm an independent artist and creative, and I've been releasing music for a long time. And I'm still at it. Today, I got some information that I wanted to discuss with the squad. So let's talk about it. I'm not here to talk about anything that we don't already know is true. But as we do know, and as we've seen, this whole Diddy situation is crazy. I'm personally a 90s baby, so I've been hearing stories and rumblings about who he really was as a person or behind the scenes for years now. And this is probably the first thing that's actually come to light as far as being physical evidence or being something that we could actually see him doing wrong. I'm not really here to go too deep into what he's supposedly done or what he's actually done. This video is really more about independent artists or creatives and their view of success. And or really should I say, this video in particular, I'll do another video about success and what that means to artists, but this video in particular is about your character when you're not successful. So with somebody like Diddy, we've been hearing stories about like the whole Sean shooting case from back in the day, and just other stories here and there over the years, for real. And it just makes me wonder, like, was it the success that got to his head? Was it the power? Was it the money? Was it a culmination of all three? Or was he really just this person before he even got on? More than anything, I want artists to like really pay attention to the fact that money brings you access. And I am a believer that, or money grants you access. And I'm a believer that that money is either going to allow you to be the person that you already are or the person that you've always wanted to be. I do understand that there's some people, when they come into their success, whether it be sports, entertainment, whatever ways that they do, but usually those realms, we see a lot of younger folks in the sports and entertainment realm come into fame and success a lot quicker than any other outlets. I can give a little bit of grace and understanding to someone who became super famous or super successful at 10 or 15 or even 20. And more than likely, they haven't really got to know themselves as an adult. So there's still some room to where they could be majorly influenced by what's going on around them and who's around. But as someone who essentially gets their success as an adult, pretty much 21 and up, 25 and up, the things that you do 10, 20, 30 years later, that's more than likely who you already were for the most part. And I don't think getting more money or becoming more successful is going to make that any better. It's just going to make it worse. So basically the whole point of this video today is, like, do you really know who you are or who you want to be? And I know we all hear the hypothetical question, if you ended up with such and such amounts of money tomorrow, what would you do? But for this video, I want you to think about that. Like I heard earlier, there's a particular person who became a millionaire through music. And he said that Forbes classifies someone as rich when they've accumulated a net worth of $10 million or more. So let's say you're not even quote unquote rich, right? Because 2 million to me would be rich. 100,000 to me would be rich right now. But let's say you're somebody who ended up with $1 million after taxes and everything, $1 million in the bank. Tomorrow, would you be the same person you were today? Me personally, I'd be the same person character-wise, moral-wise, and just the general view of me being a good person and how I see people and the things I want to do for people. That wouldn't change. Now, the access I now have would change as far as where I could possibly live, what I could possibly drive. And yes, the access that you have to places with certain type of women and things like that. But all in all, I'm still going to continue to be the same person that I am because I'm already an adult now. And there's just some stuff that I'm not going for and I'm not okay with. I've never been the type of man to put my hands on anybody. I've never been the type of person to really stand around and watch too much violence going on. So for instance, if there's two guys about to fight and I don't have nothing to do with it, I've seen plenty of situations where people like to stand around and circle around and get to see what's going on and being nosy. I hear an altercation and something going on that ain't got nothing to do with me, I'm out. I don't want to witness nothing on accident. I don't want to have to possibly be questioned about anything that ain't got nothing to do with me. And I don't really want to be around any of that energy. But some people, they're attracted to that type of energy regardless of where they are in life. And you hear statements like, yo, you too rich to be doing that, or you too successful to be doing that, or you somebody, why are you here? Some of those things are true. There's not many reasons for you to be somebody as successful as you are and to be doing certain things. Not saying it's okay for you to do it if you're not successful, but in a hypothetical situation, if you was doing certain type of wrong before you really got any type of success and you still happen to find success, to me, that's still God blessing you financially. And if you continue to do those wrong things, there's no way he's gonna see that all the way through and for you to have that success financially forever if you don't change your actions or possibly even repent for the things you've done in the past. So again, I'm here today because I really just want people to think before you really get the success that you ask for, before you really get the money that you ask for, that girl that you ask for, that opportunity, that deal, that collab that you ask for. It's some weird stuff going on in the industry. It's some violent stuff going on in the industry. It's some degrading stuff going on in the industry. Do you really know where you stand with those type of topics, those type of situations? Have you ever thought about who you would be when you get into these successful rooms? And have you also thought about who you would be when you obtain the money that you really want to have? I think about this type of things all the time, but sometimes I don't think people put much thought into. Again, about somebody like Diddy, I personally never met him, but there's some things and there's some footage and there's interviews and stuff like that outside of the stories, the stuff that you can see with your own eyes, that have been pretty evident since he was very young. And even when we known him as young Diddy, he was still a young adult. So he's been the same guy he's been for a long time. And it's crazy because the way things are painted, especially back in the day, the 90s, East Coast, West Coast beef, Bad Boy, Death Row, you would have thought that Suge was more of the gangster, the violent person than Diddy. But easily for the last 10 years, people have been talking that have been close to him and have been coming out and have been telling these same stories about how he's really not a nice guy. So I don't think it's the money that changed him. I do think he was very much intoxicated with the power that he obtained becoming who he was. And like I said, man, I do think there's a small window to pivot. If you were a bad person before you got certain success and then you get that success, especially financially or just becoming famous for something that you're really good at, there's a small window to pivot if you are conscious of the fact that you don't want to be that person anymore, even if you were before. But more than likely, when people come into that success and that those finances, they don't go good, they go worse if they were already bad. You know what I'm saying? They don't go better, they go worse. And I think that's the case with Diddy, man. I think he just too much power in his hands, got away with the same stuff one too many times. Even in this scenario, we've seen the video. I mean, not saying any of it's okay, but however the video was obtained, why hold on to it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying that sounds like when you think about it on a deeper level, it's some stuff that it's just questionable, man. But all in all, I try to pull a moral or a story or a more important thing out of any type of scenario that's going on in this hip hop industry and the music industry, stuff like that. And number one, violence is only respected when it's necessary. And number two, it's never respected when it's a male being violent towards a female. It's never going to be respected. It's never going to be respected when it's domestic. Men hitting women, women hitting men. As grown-ups, we all need to keep our hands to ourselves. As individuals of the opposite sex, we need to, if we have to resort to using our hands should only be used to the people on the same sex side as us. Men, y'all only need to be putting your hands on men if it's necessary. And women, you only need to be putting your hands on women if it's necessary. What you deem is necessary is going to vary between everybody, but I do not condone any type of domestic violence. And outside of that, I want people to realize that when you get money and when you get success, there's an opportunity for you to become somebody you never were before. But you got to really pay attention and be conscious of whether or not you want that to be a better version of yourself, or if you just don't care and you just gonna go all out and it's gonna be a worse version of yourself. Being famous is one thing, but being infamous is essentially being just as famous, but for bad reasons, you know? And I'd much rather be well known, financially okay, and morally happy with where I'm trying to go in my life and in my music career. So y'all get down in the comments. Let me know how y'all feel. Does money change you? And do you know who you really are before that money comes? Those are the two questions for today, man. Again, I go by the name of Hemingway. Make sure y'all swing by the site and check out my new single, Distracted, which is out right now, streaming on my site exclusively. Until next time, I'm out.